Looks like we have another movie to add to the requel catalog. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, Odir Kitty Review, back again with another video. So we got our first trailer for, I guess, the sequel or requel to I Know What You Did Last Summer. I'm not gonna act like I've seen this movie that many times enough to love it. I appreciated it for the time because around when I first watched Scream, and also the fact that Scream kind of did change a little bit of the slasher genre, which I feel like in the '90s everybody saw the slasher genre as dead until when Scream revitalized it, actually started using not just meta textuals to actually tell the story, but also the fact that they're acknowledging little things in that movie, like killer reveals, a couple things where it's like, oh, this was a movie. There were other movies at the time that wanted to copy Scream, or at least use elements like from Scream. Like I already know that Urban Legend was one. I feel like okay, that movie's good, underrated, but also at least kind of had a little influence. I Know What You Did Last Summer was another one, which I feel like okay, it did kind of go its own direction with the sequels. Where in the first movie, it actually dealt with a group of teenagers out hanging out. They kill somebody accidentally, and once they cover up the body, they feel like okay, it's all said and done. It's all kept in between us. Until 1 year later, they all get ransom notes saying, "I know what you did last summer," which feels like okay, so that fisherman is coming back for revenge. Until later, it's revealed that oh, it's a guy in a mask, and then you realize in the sequels that it's actually supernatural. I might be wrong recapping the story, but then again, this is one of those horror franchises that I don't always come back to. Like I'll watch it, but once in a while, if I feel like, yeah, let me go back to it, I'll watch it again. I might go back to it. Also, the fact that they did do a reboot series, which okay, that series on Amazon, it's fine. It's not as iconic as the original, and it did kind of copy little things where it's like, yeah, you're doing it, but it's not as good as it was. For this movie, it feels like it is a sequel because I don't even know if any surviving members would be in this because I already know that Julie's going to be part of this. Freddie Prinze Jr. is going to be returning for it. But I feel like in this case, if there's going to be inclusion of any other characters, I don't even know if Brandy would be mentioned in this somewhere. Besides that, we have another slasher being revitalized for the modern audience. So let's take a look and see what things are going on this summer, depending on what they did last summer. If you think about it really enough like that, because it's funny, which I know what you did last summer and it comes out this summer, which technically speaking, they did these things like a year ago, and we're going to be seeing the events going on this summer as it would play out in the movie. I don't know if it's just me. Let's just get to the trailer.
Baby, you okay?
Hmm.
Why don't you go upstairs and do that guided meditation you like?
Thank you. Find a peaceful setting
Hmm,
and close your eyes.
that's a weird color for a bath
Imagine
bomb.
a white light calling you.
Hello?
Now, feel that love entering your body and emanating out from your chest. Take a deep breath in and remember the energy you give to the universe
Hmm.
always comes
It
back
shouldn't
to
be
you.
funny, but it is kind of funny how he's just.
Do you think this is some kind of karma for what we did? What if someone saw what happened?
You need to handle this. This isn't the first time there's been violence like this in Southport. It's not going to stop.
Or at least they included Helen.
I need to start drinking. Someone is coming after us. I need your help. I just have one question. What did you do last summer?
This place is so beautiful, it makes me want to die.
Yeah, that line was just corny. Normally, I wouldn't say this movie's following a thread of other films that try doing the whole reboot sequel angle. I guess it is. It looks like it from the way that it's suggesting it. It feels like a sequel to the first one, and I guess it also negates the fact that the sequels are actually canon. Also, the fact that it feels like another group of teenagers actually kill somebody by accident, and a year later they're actually going through the same events. I might have to rewatch those movies to actually get a little bit more contextual details because I feel like I remember parts of it in my head, but I just can't remember exactly how things went down because I already know like the big twist was, oh, the first one was just a person under a mask, like the fisherman was just a regular person with a hook. But then the sequels did something different and actually made them supernatural, and it's like that's not what the first movie was, but they did kind of push it up later on. And I also kind of want to add this because this is just a little personal with me. Jennifer Love Hewitt, she's still fine, and also the fact that she looks like she hasn't aged gives me a little bit of Sydney Prescott. The older we get, the more these final girls are actually turning out to actually be badasses. In the case where it's like, yeah, I'm tired of this shit. I know you're gonna be going through it, so let's just try to take this fucker out. I like this don't give a shit attitude in between movies. But besides that, I just want to say I'm not feeling it just yet. Maybe it's because I feel like, okay, we're reintroducing it again. But I feel like if somebody who's an actual fan who actually watched these movies back in the day and like, oh, we're getting a new installment, that's cool. I'm not too attached. I feel like I gotta have to rewatch those movies again because it's one of those franchises I watched, but I'm not too like attached to it as other people are. Yeah, I get the fisherman is iconic, the hook for a hand, which also the fact that it is kind of Candyman in this case because he did it first. I know we're in the age of franchises coming back from the grave, but I feel like this is one of those ones I feel like it is kind of a couple years too late, which they could have made it because I don't even know if this would have been better if it was a remake like at the time when they made all these remakes of Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, this would have been a perfect movie at the time when those were coming out. But I guess coming out years later with a requel, I guess I could say it was a missed opportunity not to do it beforehand, where we actually got a remake, and then with this coming out, it's like, okay, I see that we're going back to formula. But for the teaser as a whole, I could just say it hasn't grabbed on to me just yet. I kind of feel like I need a refresher on those movies before I actually give out an opinion even though I'm like, oh, I'm reacting to the trailer, I'm like, okay, I know some of the elements from the first movie, but I don't know it exactly from the other ones if I want to include those two. Like if I said this was a sequel to the first one, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool that we're getting it years later in advance, which who knows if this would have happened to another set of teenagers the exact same way it did in the first one. But for the movie itself, it could be good. I don't have a problem just saying, oh, I'm not excited for it, but I'm like, I'll still watch it either way. Like this is a franchise I did watch back then. I'm not too attached to it, but it's one of those yeah, I've seen the first one. I feel like it's going to be taking more inspiration from that and continuing from that story on. So I guess it is kind of a requel in this case because I don't know if it's going to also ignore the fact that the ending did kind of allude to the second one, which, yeah, this is kind of convoluted with me going back to that whole reference point where it's like, it's a requel. But then again, I feel like it can't be. It actually has to be the sequel for these because the ending and all that actually has to connect because it actually does continue on into those two movies. But we'll see when I go through my little refresher. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. All my social media is down in the description below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.